In this video, I will give you a guided tour of the Blackboard for this course so that you'll know where to find everything. So when you first open up the Blackboard for the course, the home page that you'll land on will be this page that says announcements, and that's where I will post announcements to the class. I will also email those announcements to you so you don't need to go into Blackboard to see the announcements, but that's the first thing you'll see. The next page is called Course Overview. So what you will see there is, so a little introduction to the class. All of this just replicates what is on my website. It actually takes you, the links are to my website. So if you've already checked out my website, you're already perhaps familiar with all of these things. Excuse me. This is where you will also find a copy of the syllabus and the course schedule and what is expected of you, what you can expect of me, plus a number of different resources for students at Binghamton. Okay, the next thing, by the way, this is my view of the Blackboard. So there's going to be some things that are a little different, but I thought I'd just show it to you in my view because that's a little easier for me. But it's not functionally different really in any way. So the next page is modules. And so this will take you to the different modules for the course. They're broken down into parts. So you go into the folder for a section of the course. So let's go into the folder for propositional logic. And it contains folders for each of the modules. So let's just look at one of the modules and see what that page looks like. So it'll always start with telling you the learning objectives for the modules and if there are any prerequisites. It'll give you the reading assignment for the module. If there are handouts for the module, it'll give you a link. If you click on that link, it takes you to the handouts for that module on my website. There's a link for the video lectures that takes you to the web page for the class for the video lectures just for this module. There's a concept check. And then there'll be a folder for the guided practice exercises. So you click on this folder and you'll be able to access the guided practice exercises once you have fulfilled the prerequisite for them, which is to submit the concept check. And then there's a folder for the learning modules. And so you'll be able to click on these folders, but they will be empty until you've fulfilled the prerequisite, like I described in the video about scaffolding. So that's how the modules are set up. So each page is set up exactly the same way. Then the next link says guided practice instructions. So you're going to think that that's going to take you to the guided practices. That's not where they live. They live here. Okay. I know it's a little confusing, and I tried to help it by saying guided practice instructions. So what this guided practice instructions is it takes you to my web page, to the instructions for the guided practices. So this is so you can access the instructions for the guided practices when you're in some other module, like say when you're in a learning module or even in a timed assessment, that's fine. And so if you click on a link, so let's say module 3, this will take you to links that will then take you to the instructions for the guided practices for that module. So here's the instructions for guided practices 3.1. So that's what the link, it says guided practice instructions. And so that's what that is about. Then there's timed assessments. So on the timed assessment page, what you will see is you'll see a folder that says timed assessments. That's where you're going to go to access the timed assessments. Then there's also this list of suggested timed assessments. So there's a timed assessment day. There's sort of a day that is set aside for timed assessments each week in the course. So there's going to be 5 timed assessments days. Now you don't have to do them on that day. You could do them. So the way the course schedule is set up, for each day there's either a module that you should complete Or there's a timed assessment day where it suggests that you complete the timed assessments for the modules that were for that week, plus any others that you may need to do. So you could do it that way. So you could, let's say Tuesday when the class starts, you do module 1. Wednesday, on the next day of class, you do module 2. Thursday, you do module 3. And then on Friday, you do the timed assessments for modules. There's no timed assessments for module 1, so you could do the timed assessments for modules 2 and 3, like it says here. Or you could do, on Monday, class starts on Tuesday. So let's say on Wednesday, you're on module 2, you could do the concept check for module 2, you could do the guided practices, you could do the learning modules, and then you could do the timed assessment if I've graded the learning modules, because you have to wait till I've graded the learning modules until you can do the timed assessments. Because remember, the prerequisite for the timed assessments is a grade of progressing on learning module 2.1. So provided all of that is in place, you certainly are free to just go ahead and do the timed assessments whenever you like, whenever you feel ready. But there is a day that's set aside for it. But that's not really essential. That's just sort of to keep you on some kind of track. Okay, so if you click on the folder that says timed assessments, then that takes you to folders for each part of the course. And then if you click on that, you'll see the folder. So actually, let's go back. Let's pick a different one that has more folders, just so you get to see what that looks like. So propositional logic has lots of different modules. You'll notice it says item not available. So if you go and look at this right now, you will only see module 3, and that's because I'm still setting some things up for the other modules. And so as soon as I finish setting them up, I will make those available to you. So let's just look inside module 3. Now what you're going to see, so you'll notice I have several different versions of the test. You're only going to see, at first you'll only see one version. Later on, so say you took version 1 of timed assessment 3.1, and let's say you didn't get mastery on it. Then as soon as I've graded it, you're going to see both version 1 and version 2. So you should always take the latest version that you can see of any given module. And if you try to take version 1 again, it'll just say, you've already taken this, you can't do that. So no worries if you accidentally click on the wrong thing. So that's how it'll work, but you'll only see what's sort of available to you at each point. I can see everything, but you will not be able to. And once you've achieved mastery of a timed assessment, it'll stop showing you new versions. Okay, so that's how timed assessments go. Then there are the natural argument projects. So there's, the special policy on collaboration and academic honesty for the natural argument projects. There's some examples. There's some sources. So there's arguments that I have found for natural arguments. You're free to look there. I'm not going to guarantee that everything is going to work or actually is an argument, but you're free to look and use anything there. There's also another text by the same author as our textbook, and you can feel free. There's some sections that you can use for that. So for example, so that you can use that for Natural Argument Project 2 and 4. So it says options for sources for Natural Argument Project 2 are that deductive logic exercises that I said in a certain section, because he has some natural arguments that he has included. And then Introduction to Logic, our textbook, there's a section of the textbook that you can use for that. There's also My Stock, or you can find your own. So there are 4 different projects, and so you will just click on the link and start the project, and it'll tell you exactly what you need to do. But it gives it sort of broken down step by step, but here are in the instructions, there are also the steps for what you need to do. So you can have an idea before you even start it, what you're going to have to do. The natural argument projects are ones that you can start, come back to later and finish. If you don't get mastery the first time, you can do them again. All of those usual things now. Okay, then there's a link that says handouts and video lectures. So the handouts and video lectures for each module are linked within the module, but this takes you to just the whole master page. So if you're looking for one and you're not in a module, you can click on that link and you can go find the one that you're looking for. Okay, then the next section is called progress reports. So I have made a folder for each of you for our progress reports, and I'm going to be trying to do weekly progress reports to sort of let you know how you're doing in the class, whether you're on track to sort of get the grade that you want. I'm going to assume that everybody wants to get like an A or a B, so I'll let you know if you're on track for that. So you will just see your folder. So I can see all of the folders, but you will only see your folder when you go to that page. And if you open them up, there's nothing in them now, obviously, because there's no progress to report yet. Okay, then there are the discussion boards. These don't tend to get used a lot, but there are places where you can ask questions. So I do prefer that if you have questions about the course, and if it's anything that anyone else would conceivably want to know the answer to, if you post it here rather than emailing me about it. That way, if you have a question, you should first check the discussion board and see if somebody else has asked the same question that you have. And if I've answered it, then we can all save time. And if not, post your question there, and then I will be coming back and answering them, and then you'll get your question answered. And then other people later on, if they have the same question, can come and get an answer to their question also. There will be one assignment that will involve posting on Blackboard. And so that's part of Module 1. You're going to post a little introduce yourself post. Just a little short thing right here on the thread, meet your classmates. So I've done that just so you can sort of see what I have in mind, but feel free to tell whatever you would like about yourself. Okay. Technical help. Where does this take us? Oh, okay. Right. That's a web page. Different technical skills you might need during the course of this course. That's available to you as part of the course overview. But just in case, there's also a separate link so you don't have to go digging in the course overview if you're just like, how do I make a screenshot? It's right there. Send email allows you to send email to various people within the course, your fellow students, to me. So you can use that as a way to communicate with people. Office hours. Okay. I need to change a little bit. I realized that on-campus office hours makes no sense. That's not true. And this isn't what it should say either. I'm not going to be on campus at all. So all of the office hours will take place via Zoom. So I will fix this before I open up the course so that it says the correct information. But if you want to meet with me via Zoom, I'm not going to click on this because I'm actually using Zoom to record this video, interestingly enough. So I think that might mess things up if I clicked on it. But if you click on it, once you have to download the Zoom application. And then once you click on it, it will take you to the room where I will meet you. So that's how you will do that. What else do we have? Contact info. Tells how to contact the philosophy department. Tells how to contact me. Okay. Gradebook. I will talk more about that in another video. I'll walk you through the gradebook, but this is where you can go. This is where you can go to see what your grade is in the course. So I've created a Gmail a Google spreadsheet for each student in the class. And so what you're going to see is you're going to just see the sample grade book, which kind of shows you what your grade book might look when it's all filled in. And then you will see your actual grade book, and you won't see anyone else's. And so if you click on that, it will tell you exactly what grade you have, mastery, progressing, or novice for each module, each type of assignment that you've attempted, and sort of where that places you overall once that starts to reach the threshold of one of the grades in the class. I don't tend to put a grade in until it starts climbing up to something decent, you know, like a C or a B or so, because it's just discouraging. Like at the beginning, you're going to be like, you've mastered enough to get an F on this assignment, and that's very discouraging. So I'm not going to do that. But as the course progresses, I will start putting in sort of what grade that equates to as well, so you can sort of see where you're at. And then finally, if you want to access your graded assignments, this is the more traditional way of sort of looking at that. You can look at this and see different assignments. So like here, concept check 1, it says needs grading. I'm actually not sure what that's referring to. Somebody needs grading on concept check 1. I'm not sure who. Probably me as a guest user. So I'll need to take care of that. But you'll see that. That's what it would look like had you attempted concept check 1, but I had not yet graded it. Once I've graded it, you'll see your grade there. Mastery, progressing, or novice. But this is the crappy way to see what your grade is and stuff. But it's also a way you can access what has been your graded work. So that's more important. So that's how you do that. And so that's the Blackboard for the course. I know that's a lot. So feel free to come back to this video or just poke around. Hopefully I've got this set up. I try to set it up as logically as possible. And if you have questions about where do I find such and such, all you have to do is post a question on the discussion board, and I will answer it and let you know where to find things.